Hello and welcome back to the Nothing to See Here lesson plan video series. Please subscribe to the Read to Write Teacher if you would like more content just like this. Let's get started. Today we are focusing on reading, so there is more reading in today's lesson. They're going to be particularly practicing and developing the reading skill of sequencing and using vocab from the text correctly. Our opener for today focuses back on using adjectives and leveling this particular sentence. You can focus on using appropriate adjectives in feedback. So example, a spotted man is probably less appropriate than using words like tall, slender or red-faced to describe this man. Then we're going to move into our vocabulary check-in. At this point, I would have the words previously taught from the week visible on a wall or chart in the classroom. Then just a quick game check-in. I'm thinking of a word and it means something is magical. And they shout out enchanted. And it's just a quick review, and again with the research points to that children are more likely to contextualise and use language with frequent exposure. Then we're going to move into discussing words for today, and normally I drill the words by saying them 3 times and having them repeat back even before discussing what it means. It gets them engaged and focused and helps them to practice saying the word, and then you can discuss with the picture what they think each word means. And when that's clear, then we're going to move into our game for today. And again, research suggests that games are a great way to build children's motivation around learning of vocabulary. Our game for today is vocabulary. So have the words displayed on the board from today and the previous days. Put words in flashcards, pick 6 children to come up and have them face the words on the board with their back to the class. Give them a flashcard to hold behind their back. Have the children in the audience help them work out what the word means with a sentence or definition without saying the word. If they guess it correctly, they get to sit down. And this game can be repeated later on in the lesson for a brain break too. Then we're going to move into activating our thinking and focusing on sequencing events in a story with explicit instruction of the sequencing words, first, next, then, later, finally, and I would have these displayed on the board. To practice the skill as a class, we can discuss using the sequencing words with how we would build a sandcastle. So you could have a picture of a sandcastle on the board, or the different items that you need to make a sandcastle pictured on the board, and have this discussed through this or talk through this as the class using those sequencing words, first, next, then last, and finally. So this is practicing the skill. Helping the students to practice this skill, and also reminding students of the point of using reading skills can motivate them for using them. So i.e., remember, if a reader can sequence events in their story, it helps them to better understand and comprehend the story. Then children can think per share around what happens when Granny heard the noise outside. So again, another opportunity to practice the skill. This is from just the previous chapter that they've read. And then we're going to move into our reading part of our story. So today we're focused on chapters 6 to chapters 8. And today we're going to read chapter 6, and then we're going to pause and have a reading moment to practice our skill again. And then we're going to read the last chapter 7 afterward. And again, these are some of the questions that we can use here. And then our reading skill moment again focuses back on discussing the sequence of events in the chapter. So I would go ahead and have the children do this with their partner, or you could have them do it individually if you felt like they were ready for that. And they can do this on Nearpod if that's working out and if it's helpful in your classroom and it's working well and not causing too much trouble. That could be helpful too. If you have, and then we're going to go back to this chapter 7, and we're going to read through and pausing with questions throughout. And I always find it helpful when I'm pausing with questions. Pause in a way that helps the children engage. Like, don't stop them at the end of each page abruptly. Like, keeping a natural flow with reading and natural pausing is really helpful for the kids. As opposed to something we just have to get through. We have to answer all these questions. These questions are like an idea. You may have better questions. You may have other questions, and that's this is just to help us start thinking. So what's natural sometimes works best in these kind of situations. And then they can go back. And if you have time, so I would say at this point, because there's been quite a bit of reading today, like that may be just your time and it might be just your lesson, and you could go back and do another game of vocabulary if you wanted to. You may have gotten through the reading quite quickly, and your kids may be well able again to retell the sequence of events, and it's really good practice if they could do this again over their reading for the course of the day, and giving them success criteria, giving them a graphic organizer could help with this. Yeah, okay, great. If you would like more video content just like this, please follow along and subscribe to the Read to Write Teacher. Take care. Thank you.